And welcome into another installment, our second so far of the Cubbie Corner here in 2022. I'm Max Toma alongside Brennan King. Last episode, you heard us chat with Max Bain, pitcher from last year's South Bend Cubs team. This week, you will hear Brennan talk to Andy Weber. But first, a couple of things to talk about as it's Valentine's Day coming up. So Valentine's Day package available at southbendcubs.com. I wrote it down, so I'm going to break it down because there's a lot going on here.
There's a lot going on.
For just $99, you get a South Bend Cubs hoodie, $25 Cubbie cash, two tickets to any South Bend Cubs home game for the entire season. You get an assortment of chocolates from the Rockarusa Dime Store and a $25 gift card to Papa Vino's. And if you're going to use those two tickets, you might want to use them early on because that first series of the year here at Four Winds Field versus Quad Cities gets started on April 8th. And that's a matchup of last year's first ever High A Central champ versus the last year you were here, the last ever Midwest League champ. It's the Cubs and the River Bandits. That should be a fun one.
Yeah, less than 75 days away too. And the River Bandits, of course, now at the Kansas City Royals. So crazy. We're already less than 70 days away, Max, and super pumped about it. But I believe in that Valentine's Day deal too, there is delivery offered within 25 miles of Four Winds Field. So you may see the smiling face of Chris Hagstrom at your doorstep, delivering you chocolates.
I'm hoping you don't.
What more can you ask for, man?
I'm hoping you don't see my mug out there delivering. I don't want to be driving on. We're recording this on February 1st, which is Tuesday, which is important to note because I'm assuming this is going to drop in a couple days, and it is supposed to be an avalanche of snow overnight here. So we'll see how that goes.
Well, and all over the Midwest too. Obviously, I'm talking to you from Indy and all throughout the state of Indiana, where we're from in the Chicago suburbs. That's supposed to get hammered. Ohio's supposed to get buzzed as well by snow. So big time snowstorm on the way. And my parents live down in Florida, so they're cool. But
yeah,
they're fine. But and then I guess you said we're recording this on Tuesday. Tom Brady's officially done too.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on today.
Yeah, there is a lot going on. Yeah, my parents in California are fine. Your parents in Florida are fine. I know where I grew up was right by Lake Michigan, so we always got the lake effect snow to make it even more. So the other big thing going on is you can now apply and send in your audition tape to sing the national anthem right here at Four Winds Field. Submissions are open until, I believe, March 1st. So, BK, you want to give us a little taste of what your submission would look like?
Ooh, that you put me on the spot. I think I would break the windows in South Bend through the Zoom if I tried to sing right now. But you are right, Max, that national anthem auditions are due on March 1st, 2022, only in digital form. In the past, of course, you could probably send in CDs, but now audio files, tapes, and CDs will not be accepted. Videos can be submitted as a video link, such as YouTube or Google Drive, or sent via transfer websites like Dropbox or WeTransfer. And auditions recorded via mobile devices or personal performances are acceptable. There will be no in-person auditions for 2022. But if you've ever had the dream of not only singing the national anthem at Four Winds Field, but maybe playing it on an instrument, that's also being accepted. You can submit video files to anthem@southbendcubs.com by March 1st.
Yeah, we have some great performances in years past that are instruments with, trumpets, violins, electric guitar, an occasional
saxophones,
guitar, violin.
That's money. What about saxophones too? The national anthem on a saxophone sounds awesome.
I'm all for the saxophone. And if you happen to find me on the street and you have a VHS copy and that's how you want to submit it, I will take hand delivered VHS copies if that's how you want to apply.
I love it.
That's what I'm bringing to the table for this occasion. So we got in Valentine's Day packages, a lot of fun. Valentine's Day coming up on February 14th, just under 2 weeks away. I'm wearing a light shade of pink in honor of the Valentine's Day package.
Yeah, I am. I'm actually wearing pink, so now we're good.
As well.
By the way, the shirt, Emily Walden, who is one of the sweetest and most professional baseball writers ever, who writes for Baseball America on the prospect side. She was unfortunately diagnosed with breast cancer recently. And our friend Pitching Ninja, legend, who was one of the best Twitter follows ever, rotoware.com is his shirt website. This, of course, is a Pitching Ninja shirt. He sells them in all kinds of colors, but rotoware.com, you can buy this shirt. Emily Walden, all money goes towards Emily's fight against breast cancer.
Great cause for a great person. And Pitching Ninja, just as you said, just such a great account.
Goat.
Every pitcher wants to be featured with a sword on there.
Yeah.
And it's just so much fun. So that'll do it for our little intro here. What's going to be the biggest takeaway, you think? What should fans be watching and listening for in your interview with Andy Weber?
Well, I think Webb, of course, is a fan favorite of all time at Four Winds Field, the captain of that 2019 championship squad in the playoffs, and just a guy that was there the whole way. 141 games in South Bend in 2019. That's a long year. So it was fun to break down the season with Webb. And interestingly, he was only a shortstop in 2019, but the Cubs are really trying to make him their next big super utility guy. He played in the fall league in 2021, learning third base. Good story from Arizona in the interview.
Utility guys are so much fun. Nico Horner can now play a bunch. Obviously, we saw KB play just a million positions last year. And I know that it came up in your guys' interview, but there was a particularly notable play that was made by Andy Weber in the hole at short that I wasn't there with the Cubs that season, but I've seen that video probably at least 25 times.
I mean, it's you watch it and you just can't stop watching. It's one of those plays.
It's an all-time classic. It's the picture they use for the scoop of the game every day here at home. So without further ado, Brennan King and former Midwest League champion in 2019, Andy Weber.
We welcome you to the Cubbie Corner here on SouthBendCubs.com. I'm Brendan King. It's our off-season show as we get you set for April of 2022. Opening day at Four Winds Field. Cannot wait. And one of the best of all time to do it at the Four Winds is Andy Weber, 2019 Midwest League champion and the shortstop for the 2019 South Bend Cubs, one of my great buddies in baseball. Webb joins us now in the Cubbie Corner. Andy, great to see you, my man. How are things going as you prepare to get out to Arizona in February?
Brennan, thanks for having me, man. It's always good to see you. It's a treat the once or twice a year that we get to do it. But I've been great. Just another off season in Ohio, getting ready for the season, and I'm excited for spring training. Get going here soon, hopefully.
Do you know your schedule yet of when you're going to get out to AZ and how are things going to look for you? Because I know on the minor league side, the lockout doesn't necessarily hamper things, but since you're full minor league, you should be ready to go, right?
Yeah, I'll be out there middle of February. It's just kind of pending, the stuff with the major leagues and everything like that. I'll be out there in February, and hopefully, they get this stuff all ironed out and we can start on time. But as for the plan right now, I got about 3 weeks left at home.
Who's your friend in the back? She just put up her head. I don't think I've met your dog yet.
This is my dog, Ginger.
Ginger? I don't think I've met Ginger. She just gave you major side eye right there.
Big side eye. It's my dog.
I love it. So you're in Ohio right now. As you get set for this spring training, Webb, how does it differ from last year, right? Because I feel like as guys get ready for 2021, there was still a decision to be made of, all right, how many guys can be out in Arizona at a time? Who can be at spring training? The COVID restrictions were still there. Does it feel different going into 2022?
Yeah, I think as of right now, everybody's kind of on the same page as far as what the protocols are for following that sort of stuff. But I'm hopeful that, kind of getting there, it'll be hopefully a little bit more just laid back and, a lot less noise about COVID and everything, hopefully going into it. But, everybody's getting everything worked out as far as those are concerned, so it can be as smooth as we can on the field. But overall, I think it's starting to feel a little bit more normal how it was a couple years ago.
Now, one of the things you got to do this past fall, Webb, was be out in the fall league after your season where you played 41 games, a lot of that injury related. We'll get to that a little bit later. But being out in the fall league and getting as many reps as you did, right? We're in January right now. To get you set full go for spring training, is there a number of reps you need, number of swings, number of ground balls at short, third, or second that you need to really feel ready?
Yeah, I'm like I've said, I've always been kind of a quantity over quality guy, and I try to take as many reps defensively at different positions as I can, just because it's easy to feel good at one position when you're playing there all the time. So for me, bouncing around as much as I do, the fall league was a great opportunity, and Lance Reimel, our manager, gave me a ton of opportunities to bounce around, play a lot of third base, which is something I've been trying to get better at. So it was, I think, as far as reps are concerned, it was a great opportunity to go out there and just play every day for finally just like the first full month of baseball I've played in almost 2 years. But as far as that goes, it was awesome. And then it's just a matter of, continuing that into the off season and continue to get those reps and continue to work on third and second and short and all those spots.
Well, when you're a quantity over quality guy, that had to be adopted when Buddy Bailey was your manager. I mean, at least an hour of ground balls every day if you put in the summer of 19.
Plenty of ground balls from Buddy. There's absolutely no shortage, but he knows when you need them, and it's kind of ingrained in me at this point.
Well, I mean, did you ever determine if Buddy hits the best fungos you've ever had?
I would say he's probably the most consistent fungo hitter I've ever seen. The guy does not miss.
No. Well, he's got his own special bat too that he takes everywhere.
Yeah, he gets loose before. It's a whole process. But I'll tell you what, they're nails fungos when you get out there.
Well, here's something I want to ask you, Webb, about, as you said, transitioning from, you played 127 games in South Bend in 19. Primarily, I believe they were all shortstop. Maybe there was one game at second, but now that you're getting reps at second base, reps at third base, has there been anybody you've consulted with in the organization? Because, right, the Cubs have had a long history of guys being able to be utility players and switch positions. Like David Bodie comes to mind, right? Has there been anybody that's really helped you transition from position to position?
I would say probably the guy who's helped me the most has been Jeremy Farrell. When he was there, I worked with him a ton on playing different positions, and how the ball comes comes at you differently, or how the footwork's different, or the timing, or whatever it may be. Jeremy helped me out a ton with that. Happy he's with the Reds, and he's got a good gig going there. But I worked a ton with him, and then the other guy has always been Luis Vasquez, just in general as a fielding guy, because to me he's as good as it gets defensively.
Wow.
And I just try to learn as much as I can from him, and he plays primarily shortstop, but if you ask him about those balls at third base or those balls at second base that are a little tougher, he knows exactly what to do with them. And I think that he's a great guy to learn from too. And so both those guys have been huge going throughout this process of just learning to play different positions.
Well, what does that say about Luis, right? He's a couple of years younger than you, maybe 3 years younger than you.
Yeah, I think,
right?
I think he's either 21 or 22.
Yeah, because how old were you when you were in South Bend? Were you 21 or 22?
I was 21 and I turned 22 in the middle of the season.
Okay, so he's like 2.5 years younger than.
Yeah.
That's nuts. That's nuts. So, like, I think I might have asked you this question on my radio show a while ago. I think it was before the Cubs made the big trades. A guy like you, 5th round pick, at one point you were in the top 30, you're sneaking right around there. Quite frankly, there's a logjam of infielders in the Cubs organization, and there's got to be a lot of competition in spring training. But I guess, do you feel like the opportunity is there to just continue building and building? And you certainly have it, but now you kind of see at the major league level is like, hey, there's some light right there. You can get there.
Yeah. I try not to think too much about openings or, try to put pressure on myself and press in times like that, because it's easy to get caught up in, I think it's my turn. And then all of a sudden you're hitting $110 in the month of August that you're going to get called up. Yeah. So, I think it's important to just, I'll be ready whenever that chance comes, and I think I speak for most people in the Cubs system. We kind of have a linear thinking of that, just do your job, take care of what's in front of you, and let the chips fall where they may. And that's kind of always been my philosophy going into it. I try to keep it as simple as possible. And at the end of the day, I'm playing those guys in the other dugout. So there's really nothing else I can do other than beat those guys. And that's just kind of how it's always been for me.
Had the same mentality for as long as we've known each other, brother. So I love that. 41 games at Tennessee last year. Again, I know there were some injuries mixed in, but what was the biggest difference for you getting to AA ball? Is there a certain challenge that you face when you get there that you have not faced in your prior levels?
Yeah, right away you can the pitching is definitely better, stuff wise, of course, but you'll see guys in low A that have great stuff. It was more of the plan that they had for you. If you had a hole, they would just beat it to death until you could get to it. And it was how frequently, and it's the same way in low A, but it was how frequent, it was the consistency of which they could execute those plans. So, I mean, you'll see a lot of guys, it's a lot like the big leagues where you see a starter come out and he's pumping anywhere from 91 to 95 or somewhere in there. And then as soon as you get to that bullpen, you're seeing 8s, you're seeing 7s, 9s, whatever it is. But the velocity is everywhere. But what was different was just how often compared to low A that they were able to execute the pitches that they wanted to. And so that was definitely a learning experience, and just being able to kind of back up and slow things down and really stick to your plan versus just kind of thinking you can hit everything, because you can kind of get away with that at times in low A, especially in college and stuff like that, where you feel like you can just see it and hit it, and then you don't really have to think much. It's a little bit more of a cat and mouse game. I'm learning the higher up the levels go.
Yeah. I mean, the guys that you've gotten to play along with too along the way, we'll talk about South Bend 2019 in a second, but guys that come to mind like Tyler Durden and Chase Strumpf, and these guys from big universities just like you. You're a Virginia guy, Strumpfer's UCLA, Durden a San Diego guy. What's it been like to see the Cubs have really obviously committed to the college scouting, but you're playing along some of these studs that you look across the aisle when you were in college, just like, man, these kids can hit.
Yeah. I mean, Cubs have done an unbelievable job of just finding college bats, the arms too, but I mean, I see more of the bats. I work with those guys every day. And so, like the first time I saw Chase Strumpf even come in and hit, and it was just like, whoa.
That was at Great Lakes. You remember that?
It was Great Lakes Loons. Yeah. And the guy hits like 3 balls off the right field wall, and then he pulls 2 homers, and then hits another one off the center field wall. It's just like, who is this guy? And but that's just those are the kind of bats we've been getting, and they're going to continue to bring those guys in. And it's like anything. I mean, I think I have learned from guys like Chase, and he's learned from guys like me, and vice versa. I think it's just, I think they've done a really good job of building a culture where everybody kind of learns from one another versus a coach telling you what to do all the time. There's a lot of open conversation about, what it is that you want to work on or what it is that you want to do, that kind of makes the culture of the Cubs a little bit more, a little bit different, I feel like, than a lot of other teams. I mean, I can't speak for other teams, but it's a really good environment to work in and get a lot of stuff done.
All right, well, let's talk about 2019 Midwest League Championship, the last ever Midwest League champions, by the way, too. I mean, that's saying something. Out the South Bend Cubs are a high A Central team. Before we get into any specifics, I guess generally, what do you remember most about that year, whether it's getting there, the middle of summer, the end of the year? What memories come to mind first?
Oh man. It was a long year, man. There was a ton of
long year
stuff. Honestly, I don't think I could be able to pinpoint it to one thing. I mean, if I had to put it on a moment, it's probably, I think it was if I had to put it on a moment, it would probably be the Bowling Green game when we what was it, to play we clinched to play Great Lakes, I think.
Yeah, we bust down to Bowling Green 6 hours, one, and then bust back that same night.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I think when we were up 1-0 in the series, and we were down in the bottom. What was it? I think it was bottom 9. We were down like 2-1 or something, 2-0, and we just were able to scrap together like 2 or 3 runs or something like that. We ended up winning the game. But even just right there, you go out there every day and you do the work, and your buddy's got practice every day, and you're exhausted and you're tired, and but you have to do it, and you should do it. And I think just kind of after all the work that all those guys had put in, and everything everyone had done, at the end, when you kind of are in the middle of a game where your back's like, not necessarily, we're up 1-0 in the series, but we're just trying to win. We're just trying to smack everybody. And just being able to come back and win that game, and then we didn't lose a game the rest of the time. I felt like that was a really cool moment. Just being able to, no matter what you did, it felt like we couldn't lose. And I don't think I've ever quite really had that feeling on a team before, where you just feel invincible, So if I had to pinpoint it to a moment, it'd probably be that game. But just the overall grind of that season was unlike anything I've ever experienced before.
I mean, how 127 games, man. I mean, he still hit 275 and with all that grind. That was the game too that that Kinger threw like 4 innings out of the bullpen, is rubber armed it and closed it out. What I remember too is like as the playoffs went along, like you sweep Great Lakes. That the Great Lakes series was when you made the Jeter play.
Yeah.
And I thank you for making that play, because that's like the best call I've ever made in my life. It's just having to be on that play. But I mean, that was sexy as hell. I mean, have you ever made one of those?
I did one time at a camp, a college camp at Harvard, believe it or not.
Probably thought you were pretty smart like, then. It's like this
nobody saw it. Oh yeah, they're like just not quite smart enough to get in here. No. But I made it once at a camp. My mom and my sister were there, I remember, and I made it. And after I made the play, I was like, "How did I even do that?" And I just like, I kind of like blacked out in the moment. But then it kind of became a thing where I worked on it, and I mean, you saw it. Like I would work on it with Buddy and stuff too, and I waited all year to make that play, and it was able to happen at the end of the year, but. Yeah, it was just kind of a funny moment.
Yeah, and then the stretch by Slaughter at first, like he pretty much did the splits there.
The big fist pump.
Yeah,
it was awesome.
Yeah, and then like the championship series too, right? Where you win the first 2 games against Clinton. Technically Clinton had home field advantage, right? It was a 5-game series, but you get the first 2 at home, you take that all day. And then when Cole scores that run coming from third, and then we get on the bus, I think a day and a half later, and you're going to Clinton. That bus ride, it felt like there's no way we're losing.
Yeah, I was like, we're up 2-0. We just got to beat one game. Let's pop some bottles, get some champagne. Let's get out of here.
I love it. Well, and then the best part too, like Kendall Graveman was on that bus.
Best part about it, yeah, guy's unbelievable. Now he's pitching in the big leagues.
He's throwing 96 in the big leagues now.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. It's just so crazy when you see those guys come back from rehab, and you're watching them. They're on TV now. It's crazy.
Right. And I know the goal is for all you guys to be together at Wrigley, but when you think about the talent level of the 2019 team after Brennan got there, because I remember he had his first bomb in Dayton, and it's like, who is this kid? Like, oh my God. And then, but then the team starts coming together where, it's Mastro catching, it's Slaughter at first, and then Derna, I think Derna got called up, right?
There was a Myrtle, yeah.
Yeah, so Derna got called up, and Slaughter starts to play first, and then Clayton Daniel is just your ultra leadoff man at second. You at short, Levi at third, and then Maldonado gets called up all of a sudden. You're like, who is this kid? Yeah. And then Cole starts hitting the cover off the ball, and then Velasquez just comes out of nowhere. The talent level of that team is unbelievable.
It was unbelievable. I mean, you can't. It's going to be tough to, you don't know if those guys are ever going to play together all together again. And, just being able to get as much talent as we had on that field at one time was pretty incredible. And not so much, and not as much as the talent, even as much as just the people themselves. I mean, it's just, those are unbelievable people as well. It was just a very incredible experience. And but like you said, man, the talent, especially now when you're looking at after all these guys have developed even more. You look at guys like Nelson and Brennan, and Strumpf was there for a short time, but you look at all those guys like that are developing, they're getting even better and better. And it's cool to see. It's cool to be a part of.
Just an unbelievable time. I think those are memories that will last a lifetime, especially afterwards, celebrating all that together. I mean, that was quite the celebration.
Yeah, that was a blast. And no one ever thought you could bring the party to Clinton, Iowa either.
What was the hotel called? Do you remember what the hotel was called?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I don't even know if it had a name.
What I'll always remember about the hotel is just like the hotel, a gas station, a cornfield, and like a 3 slot machine casino. Remember that right across, and a dollar store. Yep. There was a dollar store right next to it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we were in the middle of absolutely nowhere. I couldn't.
Yeah. Do you remember when this was early on in the season? Do you remember when Marquez struck out like 14 dudes?
Yep.
Were you playing that night?
Yeah.
What was your thoughts when you see these 14 guys just start getting mowed down? You probably had no action.
Was it was at home against Lake County, I think?
I think so.
Yeah, because I think in the first inning he threw 9 or 10 pitches, and all of them were fastballs, and he struck out the side. And it was just like, whoa. And then he just continued to mow down 11 more guys after that. I mean, games like that are easy because all I got to worry about is hitting. Really, nobody hits the ball. But yeah, I mean, that guy was way far and above everybody he was pitching against.
Jeez, no kidding. Did you ever have to face him?
I have not had to face Marquez yet, and I don't know how it has.
You might want to keep it that way, honestly.
And I'm not rushing to the batter's box to go face that guy.
I mean, the only comparison, right, has to be like Cincinnati Reds guys who had to face Chapman coming up.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty similar.
The only comparison,
especially there was at the beginning of the year he was probably sitting 96 to 99, and then I think he got tired a little bit through the year, and I think Buddy had made a deal with him. I can't remember what it was, but it's basically something about he was trying to get his he's trying to get him to like run more or something so he could go deeper.
Yes.
And then the next outing or an outing later, he had done all this running and he struck out 14. It was the craziest thing ever. But that's how Buddy worked, man. He was like, "I'll make a deal with you." It was like something for an extra inning pitched or something for a strikeout, and I don't know, I can't remember, but it was I remember Marquez took that to heart and he just took it and ran away with it.
That's unreal. That's unbelievable. So before we go, I got to ask you about the video game life because you're a big gamer, and I know times have changed because when back then it was like Call of Duty was your game. I think you've kind of transitioned off of Call of Duty right now.
I have transitioned into Apex Legends at the moment.
Okay.
It's not a super big crowd that we have, but
yeah, I feel like that's like the people that prefer Qdoba over Chipotle.
Yeah, it's kind of like that.
Yeah.
I just grew tired. We all grew tired here of Call of Duty and felt it was time to move on. And, we're on to bigger and better things now.
Are you playing the show, right?
I am, actually. Me and my roommate just started a 7-game series.
Okay. That's what you Snapchatted me.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
This series, I'm up 2-0. It's a little tough break for the kid.
Who's your team?
3-1 loss and 11-1 loss. I got 3. We did 3 randoms.
11-1.
I beat him 11-1. It was 1-0 in the bottom of the 8th, and I put up a 10 spot. Yeah, off of Garrett.
Who's your team, though?
Off of Garrett Crochet, no less.
Wow.
Yeah.
So he's the Sox.
What?
He's the Sox.
Yeah.
And who are you?
I am the Braves.
Okay, so as the Braves, did you trade for yourself? Can you do that?
I didn't. No, because we've been doing is just exhibition games.
Oh, okay, but you should go in and like roster mode at the start and just put yourself on the Braves so you can play with yourself.
I'm hitting leadoff.
Yeah. What do you think you're? Here's a question. What do you think you're ranked in the show right now? You think you're above 70?
No, but it's like a 42. But it's like a 40, anywhere from 40 to 45, somewhere in there.
All right.
Once I get the power, I could maybe bust through the 60s.
Yeah. Or once you get to AAA, they'll put some respect on your name. Do you have a PS5 yet or no? Yeah, you do.
I do. I actually got it from Chase Strumpf.
Yeah, so did I. I was going to say. So Strumpers helped us both out. What is your review of the PS5 to the PS4?
I would say the PS5 is my only beef with it is that it's huge. I mean,
it's massive,
humongous, and it weighs like 40 pounds. But other than that, I have absolutely no problems with it. There's no loading time in anything. It's just the graphics are great. I mean, but it's big. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, it's like a 1.5 feet, and it weighs like 40 pounds.
It's large. You gotta teach me how to play Apex Legends. I haven't played it.
All right, let's run it, kid.
I'll run it. Webb, you the man. Wishing you the best. Also, that PS5, carrying around a PS5 for like 3 months. That's good practice for carrying around your equipment in Arizona. So
it sure is. That's for sure.
You'd be good to go. We don't even have to work out.
Us minor leaguers don't get the golf carts to the big league games.
No.
Yeah.
No. Andy Weber, 2019 Midwest League champion, the shortstop of the South Bend Cubs is in 19. He's with us on the Cubbie Corner. We'll talk to you next time. I'm Brendan King, Max Toma as well, Chris Hagstrom. Talk to you guys soon.
There you have it, Andy Weber and BK. BK, what was your favorite moment from that interview?
Probably just recollecting the championship party and just madness in Clinton. I mean, I think the line of the interview has to be, we brought the party to Clinton. Whoever would have thought that? I mean, that was unbelievable. So good times, great remembrance, and what a great dude. Wishing Webb the best.
It's got to be fun whenever, players from that team get together or you get together with them. Your first thought immediately has to be, that setting in Clinton, Iowa that night, that champagne shower, and just those fond memories. And was it even more special after the Midwest League became the High A Central, and that was the last moment ever for the Midwest League?
I think so. It's like what's funny is my parents got married. They're going on 26 years, but the place they got married at, it was the last wedding at the hall, and then they literally tore it down. So they always just say that they literally brought the place down. So we brought the Midwest League down with us.
Exactly. Brought the house down on that final occasion, on that just glorious night in Clinton, Iowa. So what do you got coming up? What's in your back pocket in terms of interviews you got? What to look forward to on Cubbie Corner in the weeks to come?
Yeah, we're going to talk to Levi Jordan and Chase Strump coming up. So we're rolling through the infielders. And you talk about a super utility guy. I mean, Levi Jordan got to AAA last year, and he's playing left field. He's playing third base, playing second base in South Bend, and then Strumper, the high draft pick out of UCLA, great dude, and we'll look forward to catching up with him. How about you?
Well, first off, I was actually fortunate enough to see Chase Strump play in person once in college, which was a blast. I actually went to Jackie Robinson Field, where my brother went to school at UCLA. So UCLA, Oregon State, both ranked in the top 5. Strump homered once, but notably on the other side, Adley Rutschman homered twice. And I think he drove 5. Heck of a matchup. UCLA, Oregon State, Rutschman, Strump. I told Strump about it. It almost sounded like I was insulting him because I said he homered once and Rutschman homered twice, like he topped you. But that was not the meaning at all. But a heck of a game. So, yeah, I talked to Jordan Wicks recently. It was right after that incredible divisional playoff round. And as we both know from researching him when he came here to the Cubs at the beginning of September to make his pro debut, former all-conference high school kicker. So I asked him a little bit about the kicking side in the NFL. 14 seconds left with the Bills. Does he pooch it? Does he kick it to the end zone like they did? Does he squib one? And how close does Mahomes have to get Jordan Wicks to tie up the game at the end with a field goal? So we got a lot of fun in the barrel coming up February 1st today. Only a couple months till baseball starts, but we got a lot of fun coming up here in the near future with Cubbie Corner. Make sure to order those Valentine's Day packages as well. And yeah, that'll do it. Thanks for tuning in, everybody.